Hello students, today we are going to study Introduction of Leveling. Now, what do you mean by leveling? It is the branch of surveying in which elevation of a point with respect to a datum is measured. It means that in this leveling topic, we will measure the particular elevation of any point on the Earth's surface with respect to a fixed datum. Generally, our datum is mean sea level. So, the calculation of elevation of any particular point on the Earth's surface with respect to any fixed datum is known as leveling. Now, we will see one by one each and every part of leveling. Start with the level line. Now here a diagram is shown like this. Now this is the mean sea level which is shown here like this. Okay, it is the average surface of still water in the sea. Now our ground profile is like this. This is our ground profile like this. Okay, now this is the ground profile and we had taken 2 points. First one is point A and second one is point B. Now the line which is parallel to the mean sea level line and passes through the point on the surface of the earth, that line is known as level line. Now this is the level line for point A as well as this is the level line for point B. Now we had written here, it is the line at any point on Earth's surface which remains parallel to its curvature or MSL. It means that it is always parallel to the curvature of the earth or mean sea level. Now it is the line which remains perpendicular to the direction of gravity at each and every point. It means that this line will be perpendicular to the line of gravity which is shown here like this. Okay. Now this angle will be 90 degree as well as this angle is also 90 degree. Now the next one is the plumb line. Now what is plumb line? It is the line which joins any point of Earth's surface to the center of the earth. This line is shown by this dotted line. This is known as plumb line as well as this line is also known as plumb line. Now this line generally joins any point on the Earth's surface to the center of the earth which is shown here. Now the length of this plumb line is known as radius of the earth which is shown as r up to the mean sea level. It means that up to this point the distance is radius of the earth like this. Now above mean sea level up to that point, this height will be known as reduced level of point A. Similarly, this height will be known as reduced level of point B. It is the elevation of the point from mean sea level. Now the next one is it shows the direction of gravity at any point on the earth's surface, which we had already seen that the plumb line will always shows the direction of gravity at each and every point on the earth's surface, and it remains perpendicular to the level line which we had already shown by marking this angle, that is 90 degree. Now the next one is horizontal line or line of sight, which is shown by this line here. This is the horizontal line for point A and this is the horizontal line for point B. Now the tangent at any point of level line is known as horizontal line. It means that the horizontal line will be tangent to the level line. Okay. In surveying, if telescopic instruments are used, then the line of sight always refers to the horizontal line, not level line. It means that if in surveying, if we will use the telescopic instrument, then the line of sight always corresponds to the horizontal line of sight, not level line. Now the next one is the mean sea level or standard datum. Mean sea level is defined as the average surface of still water in the ocean or sea. The average surface of still water means the water which is stagnant in the ocean or sea is known as the still water. The average surface of still water in the ocean or sea will represent nothing but the mean sea level, which is shown here by this line. Now the water surface in oceans represent exact curvature of Earth's surface, and that's why it is referred as standard datum. Now our Earth is comprises of maximum of water, that is 73% of water, and if we kept water in any beaker, then it will take the shape of that beaker. Okay, so we can assume it that the surface of the water in the ocean will corresponds to the exact shape of the earth. That's why we will take the water surface in ocean as the reference surface, because it represents exact curvature of the earth's surface. That's why it is taken as the standard datum. In civil engineering, all vertical elevations is measured from MSL, because MSL is the standard datum from which we will take all the readings. Now one note is there that MSL is found out by hydrographic surveying. We all know that in hydrographic surveying we had determined the depth of the water as well as capacity of reservoir as well as determination of mean sea level, which we had seen in our first or second lecture. Now the mean sea level of India is obtained from Mumbai, but before independence it was from Karachi. Now it is not possible to take the reference from Karachi, so we had shifted our mean sea level to the Mumbai. Now the next one is level or reduced level or elevation. Now what do you mean by level or reduced level or elevation, which is shown here? That is RL of A, that is RL of B. Now a level is the vertical elevation of a point on the surface of earth from MSL or any other standard datum in the direction of plumb line. It means that it is the vertical elevation of that point on the earth's surface from mean sea level, that is shown here, and in the direction of plumb line. So if we want to say the simple definition of reduced level, then we can just say that it is the elevation of any particular point on the surface of the earth from the mean sea level or any other standard datum. Now the next one is differential level. What do you mean by differential level? It is the difference in vertical elevation of any 2 points. It means that if one point is here and if another point is here, then this is the differential level between these 2 points. It means that it is the difference in vertical elevation of any 2 points. Now the next one is benchmark. It is the relatively permanent point of reference whose elevation with respect to a standard datum, that is MSL, is known. It means that benchmark is that permanent point of reference whose elevation or RL is already known from the MSL, and it is used as a reference level for other points in a project. If we don't know the benchmark, then it is impossible to carry out the leveling work, because we have to connect our survey or we have to connect our leveling work. That's why we need a benchmark, which is a permanent point of reference whose elevation is already known from the standard datum. Now the next one is the instrument which we will use in our leveling, that is first one is level. Now you all had seen in your life various types of level, that is dumpy level, which is shown here, while or V level, tilting level, which is shown here, reversible level, which is shown here, and auto level, which is shown here. Now there are various types of level which we will use in our leveling work. Nowadays auto level is mostly used because it is the much more accurate instrument as compared to dumpy level, while or V level, tilting level, or reversible level. That's why we will use auto level nowadays. Now a level generally consists of following parts. First one is telescopic lens, which is shown here. Now telescopic lens is used to provide the horizontal line of sight. It means that we will use the telescopic lens to provide the horizontal line of sight, which remains tangential to the level line. Now the next one is level tube. Here the level tube is shown here, that is the level tube. Now generally it makes the line of sight exactly horizontal. By keeping the bubble at the center, we will make the auto level or any other level parallel to the earth's surface so as to provide the exact horizontal line of sight. Next one is the leveling head or foot screw, which is shown here. It is generally used to bring the bubble of level tube in the center. Generally, during the centering work, we will move the foot screws inward or outward to bring the bubble of the level tube in the center. Next one is tripod. Tripod is generally used to support the leveling instrument. Now the next instrument which we will use in the leveling is the staff. Now a leveling staff is a straight rod having graduations with 0 on its foot, which is shown in this diagram. The purpose of leveling staff is to determine the vertical elevation by which a point is above or below the line of sight. You have generally seen in the field that one person is holding a leveling staff at a particular point like this, and from the auto level or dumpy level we will just sight staff and we will take the elevation of that point from the ground level. Okay, now it is generally used to determine the vertical elevation by which a point is above or below the line of sight. Now it is generally divided into following two types. First one is self-reading staff and the next one is targeted staff. Now what do you mean by self-reading staff? A self-reading staff is the one which can be read directly by the main surveyor standing on telescopic end. The graduations are marked by black or red ink on a self-reading staff. Self-reading staff is just like this. Okay, now in this a surveyor stands near the level will directly read the reading from the self-reading staff, because readings are already graduated in this staff, so it is possible to take the reading directly by standing near the level only. Now it can be further classified into following categories. First one is solid staff. Its length is 1 to 1.5 meter and its least count is 10 mm. The next one is foldable staff. Its length is 2 meter and least count is 5 to 10 mm. And the last one is telescopic staff, whose length is 2 to 3 meter and least count is 5 mm. Now in this figure, this is the solid staff, this is the foldable staff, and this is the telescopic staff. Now one note is there that if type of staff is not mentioned in the question, generally in engineering services as well as in GATE exam, if the staff type is not mentioned, then you have to choose the answer as 5 mm, because nowadays telescopic staff is generally used as compared to solid staff and foldable staff. Now the next one is targeted staff. A targeted staff contains a blank rod which is painted by a white color, and the target point is obtained through a moving finger against which the reading is taken by a staffman. Okay, now in this type of staff, graduations are not marked. The whole rod is painted by white color. Now a surveyor will stand near the level like this, and one targeted staff is kept at some distance from the level. Now suppose that this is the line of sight. Now we want this reading, so one person will move finger from this point like this, then he will ask the surveyor that whether the finger is seen or not. If the surveyor tells that the finger is not seen, then he will continue to move his finger on the upward direction, and when he will reach to the line of sight, then the surveyor stops the person and reading will be marked on the blank rod like this by pen or by any other marker. Now we will measure this vertical distance with the help of tape, and that will be the elevation of this point from the ground surface. So in targeted staff, it is not possible to get the reading directly by standing near the level. We have to mark the reading first, that is like this, and we have to measure it with the help of tape. Okay students, that is all about the introduction of leveling. Thank you very much students.